here, you know, you get an insight and you know something, you know, but you don't want to say it out loud because you're kind of afraid that it's not going to be really true and he'll spoil the whole thing for you, you know. But when somebody makes you say it, then, and it's true, then it just makes it more beautiful of a thing.
I'm not crazy, Malin. I'm not crazy, Malin. I've just been in a very bad mood for 40 years. 40 years.
Carpe diem. Carpe diem.
are so damn good.
The talent on these teams is undeniable. Everybody on every team right now is making plays.
It's going to be an exciting start to the season, and it'll just get better from here on out.
We're about to step to a whole new era of Overwatch esports. So much exciting action is happening here on CGL that you do not want to miss.
Look who's starting it all off. It's Raven. No one necessarily figure out what is the right way to go just yet.
What a nice roll through from Peyton. Just gonna solidify everything from those.
Does come back, and Arsario gets the mech, but I don't need a mech. I'll kill 4 anyway.
This is just a highlight reel for Arsario right now.
They're making a statement in the EU Masters here.
This patch is still incredibly fresh. There's so much to learn, so much to change about the way we play the game.
NKC, but the shatter is colossal.
Let's get it going.
Trades keep coming through. Lores, you're gonna be able to find these shots true.
Idu on the overclock with 2.
Here comes an Anvil, immediately goes back to fine skills, slicing and dicing their way through 2-3, so back and forth.
It's nearly the end of the second week here over in CGL, making our way through the 15th season. And so far, teams beginning to show their promises of being able to rise to the top, and some others still fighting to really kind of find themselves here. But Spec, like I said, it is the second week. Teams still have time to figure out how they're going to operate, how they're going to adjust as things go along, and we'll be adjusting far more next week with the introduction of perks. But for the time being, we got Shenzhen Strikers going up against Bliss Marauders Tier 5. It is a 0-1 team versus a 1-0 team, respectively. Game that genuinely could go either way, because Shenzhen Strikers, I mean, we know this team well. They're former champions as of last season.
Yeah, so it's a bit surprising they lost their first game, obviously. They'll be hoping to reassert themselves here in this game. Of course, as you mentioned, there's a lot of change over the horizon, but they do have to convert now. That being said, it's a relatively low-stakes environment, right? Very early days in the season. The mid-season tournament is just a distant speck, likely, in a lot of these players' minds, as well as being the earliest goal, so they can take it kind of chill, try and fix their general issues with the team before going into the specifics of the matchup. Once we actually get perks, which will be... Honestly, I think perks will be solved pretty fast. That's my gut feeling. I think we're going to be handed them, and a lot of them are going to be very strong or very weak, very polar. So once we find out which ones are, up, which ones are down, then we'll have comps based around that in a week or two. It's my gut feeling, but, I've been wrong more than once before, so don't take that too much. Of course, we have a schedule for you today. This isn't the only game. Shenzhen Strikers versus Bliss Marauders here, of course. 8 p.m. glorious United Kingdom time, as you might be able to tell with your very own eyeballs. Emerald Eagles will be playing Lunar Eclipse in the same time, only EP. So just the 2 games today, but keeping the CG action consistent for you.
Yeah, making it consistent. Always try to run that EU and NA game, show off as much talent as you possibly can here. Always a fun idea and just a fun concept to be able to show as much as we possibly can here. But, of course, got to really focus in on this EU matchup because, again, Shenzhen Strikers hoping to get to a 1-on-1 situation. Don't want to go 0-2 at the very beginning, especially after having quite a great end to the season last time, winning the EU Masters Division, deciding to come up to EU GM into this situation right here. So, like I said already, it's a situation that could go either way. And the fact of us that those being in the regular season means these maps are locked in ahead of time spectrum round, so there is no losers picks in that situation. But it becomes a different story when you start to introduce hero bans to the situation.
Yeah, so you have a different method of, getting some sort of comeuppance. If you are the losing team, you still have a chance to strike back somewhat, and some targeted hero bans could be very much annoying for either team to deal with. Shenzhen Strikers, as I recall, we're playing a lot of dive stuff, so I feel that's more bannable for the most part. While dive has a couple of different iterations, then, for example, if you try and play like Kiri Lucio on Gibraltar, you'll probably be pretty sad. We can take a gander at the ban phase by the looks of things in a little bit, but I will say that is such a great map pool for us to play. Shenzhen Strikers first ban, they won the coin toss, remember? Once a role is banned out, it cannot be banned once again. So if we see, for example, a Queen ban come through, then Hazard would not be an option for the Bliss side. And equally, if Widow was banned, then you can go towards a Sombra. Teams only get 1 ban per map, and they're only allowed to ban a hero once per series. So those are the rules, in case you've been living under a rock, don't know. The only difference, in fact, between OWCS rules and ours is that here we do bans, then we do rosters. So you don't end up feeling a Sombra one trick when Sombra's banned, as an example.
Yeah, exactly. And also the fact that these bans can also be used in a source of protection as well. Say you really want to run the hazard this first map, you come out the gate and ban something kind of more on the insignificant side, like Malga or Roadhog, just to be able to protect that hazard. That way, you know for a fact you can run it. But in the situation, poor boy Winston going to be hit with the ban here on Oasis, a very playable character as well, especially you consider that Garden and City Center map. So curious to see what the response going to be in the situation.
Winston feels like the pretty standard dive tank, basically indefinitely. Sorry, it's very rare that Bull or Doom will ever have a place above him because of the way they secure individual value versus the way that he does it. You know, you balance for ladder versus organized play, and Monkey just does more. So every time we see something in game, it's going to be a Monkey. Winston ban is not so crazy, right? Whilst you mentioned Winston's very playable, if you're particularly married to a strat, it's going to end up being likely a more brawly tank or a wrecking ball. So not something that is really targeted by Winston ban. Obviously, it could be just a knowledge. You know, Bliss Marauders or a Winston one-trick team will take away that weight instantly. But it seems more like we don't want to play this. We don't really want to play into this. But more importantly, we want to guard a tank ban to me.
Yeah, 100%. And now, obviously, Bliss Marauders with an opportunity to ban back in the situation. We've seen it usually be supports, but at this time it's going to be Genji in this situation. So no Winston and no Genji, two heroes that typically go pretty hand in hand with each other with these dive compositions. So I guess in this situation, there's going to be a little bit more of a fixture. I really want to say it kind of leads towards either the poke or the brawl, but just because you have no Winston or Genji doesn't mean the dive is outright impossible.
Yeah, it's still doable. You can move towards something like Sombra, Sojourn, Bull, so Sombra, Sojourn, Eva. You know, you can get creative with it, but that's not what we'll see in a little bit. Take a gander at the rosters real quick. First up on the docket, going to be the Shenzhen Strikers. That is, as you've mentioned, Hunter, our CGL Masters Division champions. A game I believe we got to cast in a 4-2 affair that could have gone the whole way. What a game. Obviously, it's a bit of a step up in terms of that difficulty. We'll see if the returning players can continue to fire back with JT4, Mikasa, Yo-Yo Cherio, Lucio's, and Fiji gone. I remember Mikasa especially, as well as Yo-Yo Cherio, being able to perform above and beyond. Hopefully they can continue that in this new tier.
Yeah, 100%. Very impressive team. Obviously wants to keep having success, and while not the best start, they got opportunity to do against their opponents here today, which is Bliss Marauders Tier 5. Take a look at that roster as all part of that Bliss Gaming organization, okay? You got JDW and Pulse over on DPS, Kill the Hog over on Tank, and then that Pig Whips and Mellower over on support. And again, a team that, while for me personally, not a ton of names that I do recognize, you have to take into account the fact that there's a team that has come in and won their very first matchup. And in that situation, you have to consider them as some level of threat. They've come in, gotten that 3-0 out the gate. Not very many signs of weaknesses within that first match.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see whether this stream game gives them much more, as we will be going into lobby momentarily. So, as I love to say, Cast the app will be coming to an end in just a bit, and we'll be heading into Oasis in the first map of this series. It looks like it's going to be a start, if I'm not much mistaken, on University. And no, I didn't have to take that long pause just to remember what the map was called. Now, so that's where we're going to be starting. This is a sub-map that is normally more of a brawl type of map. You can't really get great poke lines in, so if you want to see like a really meaty comp, like a Ram, a Rhine, even a Malga, this is probably where you expect to see it the most, right?
Yeah, 100%. This is the one where the kind of that brawl style is going to come into effect. It's technically doable on the other two, but this is definitely the most the one you would lean towards the most with that style here. Not looking at a couple high ground teams, sometimes rallying to work with, but as things are right now, obviously. Nothing 100% certain until we get out of those doors, the clock hitting 0. But for the time being, Shenzhen Strikers doing something rather interesting, and I don't know, I don't know if I could say slightly more traditional, because at this point there's a couple of wonky things on the side.
realistically, this is just a Bull combo with the Doomfist, right?
Yeah.
You can play Doom in place of Bull if you're confident that your Doom knows how to cycle very effectively. You can go for faster, more damaging cycles in exchange for your Doom being much more punishable than a Wrecking Ball. In exchange for having an ultimate that's somehow even worse. This rat is giga cringe, but I've seen cringe stuff work earlier, so we'll see if this ends up working out in favor of Bliss Marauders or not.
Yeah, of course, Kill the Hog can be very deadly when it comes to this knife right now. Let's see the punch come through, pulled back right into that, and Yo-Yo Cheerio, it's in the name, goodbye, we will see you later. First fight, looking into control right now of Bliss Marauders, gonna pull back the Tracer right there, but JT4 gonna do a job of surviving, but they will have to surrender the point, take your resets, Kill the Hog barely staying alive.
Rat's huge burst damage and disruptive capabilities with that knockback make him such a huge threat for any divers. BJ Gon's able to find a necessary elimination, but Pulse with the trade means that we're still in an even scenario.
Yeah, very much evened out right now, but Yo-Yo Cheerio again, desperate situation, not able to get the heals in time, but Figate John and Duo kind of trying to hang around, make something happen. Mikasa just gonna be forced to get out here. Now, once again, another reset has killed the Hog. Doing really good holding on and kind of, while they are getting low, doing a really good job of just keeping that survivability.
Yeah, great success so far for Bliss Marauders. I will say the only silver lining perhaps is that people are pretty far away from their ult, so the nano boost from Lucio's is going to be pretty high value, all things considered. They're really struggling to get in, though. It's been pretty punishing consistently that Yo-Yo Cheerio has been when trying to go in for dives, and already he's just half HP, has to back.
Yeah, unfortunately, JT4 not able to kind of contribute right now, and unfortunately, that's going to be another lost fight, and this just isn't quite working out. I mean, Yo-Yo Cheerio only has 35% right now. It's not looking very good, and you might want to consider a change up here relatively shortly, at least maybe in that tank position.
I don't get why not to play Wrecking Ball. If you don't play Ball, that's one thing, but it's not like the character is incredibly different to the rest of the game. Okay, I suppose it is to learn. But, you know, still compared to Doomfist, it's not a huge canyon, and the execution gap is just so great. Necessary pick, though. Finally a chance.
Yeah, chances there. Pulse be taken care of, but Kill the Hog still does have that ult ready to go here. Punch is going to miss around. Same thing with that Pulse Bomb. It's going to come through. Going to catch on to a couple of members. Figgy John and Yo-Yo Cheerio both caught right now. Going to see if they're going to go down. They get down to 5 health, but barely managed to stay alive. Big punch right now, but it still keeps the fight in a relatively even position right now. But the numbers game is eventually going to pay. It's all right here. Kill the Hog getting taken care of. 94%. Likely going to get to the full 99. As Pulse is looking for a retouch in the situation with JTG hanging around. Yeah, I mean, why not go for it in the situation? Try to end it right here and now. If you can get rid of Yo-Yo Cheerio, all that sustainability is going to kind of go down the drain, but eventually the flip is going to come through, and for Bliss Marauders, reset looks like it's likely going to happen, at least for the moment.
That's a rate I'd definitely be wanting back. You get nothing for it. Zero value, unfortunately. I mean, you can continue to chuck ults at the problem, but you're going to find the same spot, that you aren't scaled, you don't have full numbers yet, you're just ulting to get over your advantage. Disadvantage, sorry.
Yeah, the beat's going to come through. It's not going to do a ton at the end of the day. I guess it does secure the fight in a way, as DJW going to take JT4 with them right here. So, big fight coming online here. Shenzhen Strikers, 3 ults, 1 across both roles. So, curious how they're going to use them in this situation.
And they've still got this nano boost. It's a huge value on a Doomfist 98% of the time, and you can't really overextend now. You've got that Meteor Strike. Yeah, the stun is going to be kind of annoying, but you can absolutely deal with it. Surely you go early, though, to stop the opponents from having a chance to set up, but we Nano are seeing.
And Nano C could work up very nicely right now, but nice little 80 strike right now. Mikasa trying to find something right now. Is finding damage, but needs to find a pick to make something happen right now. Bit of a rough situation as we see Meteor Strike come down, going to help clean things up, and now Shenzhen Strikers got some momentum back on the side. Nice little late pick over there onto Miller. So, big fight right there, but Marauders right now switch over to their own Sojourn now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very reasonable pick, right? You're not finding cast value, and in my opinion, pretty consistently, you won't. Soj will live, Soj has pick pressure, Soj is effective at all ranges, and consistent as well. So, it's kind of everything you want from a hit scan. It is just... Okay, that pulse would have been nice, but you'll miss it, and you'll be okay with that. No ults for Shenzhen Strikers, though, means that if you didn't find that pick, you'd be kind of screwed.
Yeah, and now with 85% right now, you got to consider how you want to fight this right now. It looks like it's just like a bit of a partial reset right here. Mikasa wants to be taken care of, goes for the Blinks pulse, not able to get back up online. still finding the trades one after another right now. Going to see the anti come down once more on to kill the Hog. It's almost been like used exclusively onto them right here, but getting very close to this ultimate needs to be kept up. And with the power of that rally, definitely doing the trick right now. Going to come through catching on the two members. BJ Gun does not have any BD pick up right now, so it's going to have to back out. Hope they can live and get the mega health back. We'll be able to do so, but DJW may have already sealed the deal on the first round. The Sports hanging around, still able to survive right now. Unfortunately, going to get collapsed in on it. It is just about Fee. Just trying to find the touch. Just unfortunately, it's not going to happen. So, Shenzhen Striker is close to pulling that one back, but unfortunately, a couple of devastating ultimates to finish it out.
I feel like something I want to see is an adjustment coming through from the side of Shenzhen Strikers is going to be a lot more Ana cooldowns being committed towards the tank. Kill the Hog just didn't seem that worried about being permanented, slept on cooldown, right? And it's because it just wasn't happening. That's something we need to see. If Lucio's can do that, then it's going to significantly restrict whatever value Kill the Hog can find. And even though it's less resources from your team, even though it makes you somewhat squishier to dives, the positive outcome is so worth it every day of the week. JT4 can mirror the Tracer duel, has been losing out somewhat, but as long as you play it soft, just a mark, then Pulse won't be able to just farm Lucio's, and Yo-Yo Cherio, in theory, should be going for better hits than the Queen. So that's the adjustment I would love to see. If we actually see it, though, then, I don't know, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, not starting in the best of ways right there, forced to get back, and is going to get taken out. Before there's even a fight gotten started, Spec, and now it's really hard to take a fight here in the situation. The best thing you can do is just play for a sleep right there, and that's a great way of getting yourself some bit of room right there. A nice little anti to catch on to two right there. Pulse, he's not going to hit the recall, though. He's going to be able to find a way to get rid of Lucius, and unfortunately, there's just no real way to come back into this one. So Shenzhen Strikers, with the loss of their tank early on, going to force to take a reset. Unfortunately, the tank is going to take another reset on top of that.
Well, I mean, listen. It's exactly what I said I wanted to see, the Ana cooldowns coming through onto the Queen, but I'd like to see it while we're actually 5 alive, please. If we actually have that while Yo-Yo Cherio is active, maybe there's some follow-up, maybe there's some damage, but so far, yet to see it. Been very slow to these ultimates, because he just hasn't been doing a whole lot on this re-engage. Maybe that changes, but JT4 is probably the person I'm looking forward to, who might actually have some kill potential.
Yep, still very far away from that Pulse. Multi-ultimate still very far away. Mikasa has gone down first and foremost right here. JT4 hoping to find something. Entered the 1v1 right now. Doing a really good job in it right now. Sitting both at one. Going to go in. Going to try to find a melee. We'll get it in time, unfortunately. Follow-up is there, but not going to be taken care of. So the point close to flipping over. Not quite yet in this situation, but eventually the numbers game looks like it's going to play its factor, and it's just going to be down to a little bit of stall here from Pulse. We're going to get this thing closer to that 50% marker. We'll get stopped, getting it to 47, and with that, go through, but didn't have to use anything in that situation, so going in, coming from a lot of ults here.
Yeah, JT4 and Yo-Yo Cherio just both went in at the same time. That meant JT4, no resources could be committed towards stopping them. So it just allowed that 1v1 with DJW in the backline, allowed to convert off the back of it. Great stun on Kill the Hog, but oh lord.
Yeah, don't want to lose the Tracer 1v1 right away. Pulse Bomb's going to come in. It's going to get a nice little stick right there because they're going to get taken care of it. And now it's just all about the cleanup game at this point. But still, from this right here, have a lot of stall potential in this situation right now, especially if they opt to try to give the nano to try to play for survivability. Unfortunately, that is not an option anymore, so 33% going to be the reset, but the bright side is you're coming in with 5 ults on your side.
I mean, yeah, but they've not really had an opportunity to go for any strong ult plays yet, as well as a stagger onto Mikasa, who on this Cassidy has just been dying for cooldown, unfortunately. Great cooldowns on to Kill the Hog, but we need to punish, and instead, finally happens. Takes a Pulse Bomb to do it.
Yeah, it gets pretty much booted back into it in the situation, so very winnable now. Super low on the Kiriko. Lucio's going to find both shots back-to-back right there. Going to clean things out. Getting a little messy at this portion right now for both teams in this situation, but looks like once again it's going to be the stall game coming in alive right now. Ain't he going to be able to help take care of DJW? Pulse not too far behind, so 80% going to be over on the mark once again, only expending the Pulse Bomb to be able to win it.
Take that. At the end of the day, it flips a flip. You'll stop your opponent at a point percentage where you'll be able to get another touch, almost another fight, realistically. And, of course, you only spend your poles for it. You can, again, go for a nano fight. This side, with those OC, again, I would think Yo-Yo Cherio is going to be the target, but we'll see what they set up.
Yeah. Potential for Kutsune Rush to go up to this high ground right now, but Yo-Yo Cherio doing a good job of pushing it out. But with that right there, we're looking at a potential Kutsune, but GT4 going to go for it. The B has been expended right now, as we do see. Gotta find something right now. Yo-Yo Cherio doing a really good job of cleaning this fight around. You do end up using 3 ultimates to come away with that in that situation right now, so Bliss Marauders got one more fight and have the ultimates to realistically pull it around.
Yeah, like, lovely work there from Shenzhen Strikers. Not the way I probably would have structured that. I would have went for a much earlier engage there. No reason to let Bliss Marauders go first. But it gets the job done. As you mentioned, very much ult advantage here for Bliss, as well as a swap over to the Resurgent and disrupts Yo-Yo Cherio. And only the Nano Boost. Again, now more than ever, you've got to go first, and we're just not seeing it. Oh, big nade, though.
Yeah, cleanse has to be expended to be able to make sure right now, as 4 ultimates on the board. One has already been expended, though, within that Kitsune Rush right now, but Yo-Cherio has the Nano S back. I'm going to be expanded, going to go for the big punch. Somehow gets Millowers right behind them in that situation right now. Doing that spin to try to make something happen right now, but TJW coming up online. Has found one, has found the second. Hoping to clean things around, and with that, gotta just try to die on this point right here. But Yo-Cherio's made it back, has gotten rid of 2. It's down to the Kiriko hanging around. Unfortunately, it's only 1 person left standing for Bliss Marauders. They are thankful that it's that Pig Whips.
Yo-Yo Cherio kills 4 there, but it's just not enough. You're going to be feeling absolutely heartbreaking about that if you're a member of the Shenzhen Strikers and Yo-Yo in particular. But all you can do is look forward. You've got time for a touch. Realistically, a fight. You'll be able to charge into Pulse and Meteor Strike, but both those ults are, with all due respect, kind of terrible. So we'll see what they can do with them. As a Kill the Hog tries to go in a target. Oh, already the HP is not looking great.
Yeah, right now just hanging around with this B right now. No reason to do anything else right now. Coming when it's most needed. Gonna come directly down. No punch to be able to stop it in that situation. Kill the Hog is taking care of Lucio's right there. And that means VJ Gun is going to have to be running around to try to find something. Mikazu's doing a really good job, though. It's already gotten to the cleanse. Going to be able to help protect that Pig Whips in that situation right now. It's about trying to stay alive, to try to find one more of these supports. But the DM's doing a really good job trying to keep things sedated right now. And it looks like it might end up doing the job. Hoping to find something on the punch. Connects onto 1 right now, but no cooldowns left in the bank right now. Is down to JT Board. Hold on as long as they possibly can, but there's no recall after the bank. The Kiriko coming back, they'll supply a little bit of help in the situation, but you cannot get off this point no matter what here in this situation right now. Going to get forced around. Body still going one way and the other. Going to have that self-destruct ready to go as well. I mean, it triggered. I'll talk about that in a moment, but eventually time is going to run out, so Bliss Marauders will take this one back. I don't know if you saw that. It got to literally the frame where the overtime is supposed to end.
Yeah.
But you heard the re-trigger of the overtime line as well. That's quite interesting.
At least we can see Yo-Cherio's heroics here. Not that it didn't matter for too much. I believe this is the fight where he kills 4, they still lose. Fantastic work though from the Doomfist. Oh, this is the wrong one, sorry. But still, it was kind of cooking when he wasn't feeding. Is kind of the best way of thinking about it, right? Like especially on University, it was a whole lot of nothing, unfortunately. Not what you love to see. Gets a little bit more warmed up on Gardens and finds value, but unfortunately the team's not really there in it. Mikasa, a key element who's been unfortunately dead silent so far. They could find their voice. Maybe there's something more to be said, but I haven't seen it. A BMT5 kind of cooking. This Queen doesn't need to be super active when Pulse is kind of killing everyone for them. But heading on to Eichenwald, I see no reason why they wouldn't just continue this momentum through. Obviously, we will see new bans be issued, which is going to be curious to see exactly what they are. But I'm looking forward very much so into seeing what these teams come up with, because at least for me looking here on the outside looking in, I don't see any obvious bans for either team.
Yeah, there's not any, like, there's no ban where it's like, hey, we have to do this in this situation. It's like, it's a situation where, you know, you could ban Yo-Cherio away from the Doomfist, but we don't know that. Perhaps the fact is that maybe they were on Doomfist because typically a Winston player. Maybe they'd like to play Winston, and it's kind of their alternative to go over to Doomfist in that situation. So it's kind of a situation where it's kind of a gamble. But the bright side is if you hold on to it and you realize that, hey, it is a prevalent character, you say that for something like an Esperanza, like a Sarabasa, where perhaps the value will be found within those maps a little bit more. But for Eichenwald, the bans, I agree, Spectron. I think it could really go either way in this situation right here. Shenzhen Strikers, though, will be banning first out the mark here. Is this the point where we see our first support ban? Would begin to imagine.
It's a possibility, most definitely. They didn't find much success with their Ana Lucio backline, so maybe you want to move away from that, perhaps onto something a bit more standard, like Ana Brig, Juno Brig is what I would look to do. We could also go towards like Lucio Kiri if you want to be a little bit boring. Unfortunately, all the fun backlines like Lucio Bat Brig aren't really as in vogue right now. So that's maybe not something we expect to see. They do have options though. They could go for Queen ban. They could go for Soj ban. Go for Tracer ban. They have see, this is the thing. No one has like a slam dunk. This will win us ban. No one has a really easy just like counter ban either. So what the first like layer of bans could be. They have gone for a support ban. They've gone for the Lucio ban. The Shoes, they want to change up their backline because the Lucio was 100% locked in for Fiji on that previous map. Which implies to me that we will be seeing Ana Break, Juno Break, support now protected, so it is the side, or the turn, sorry, of BMT to ban. And from them, I have no idea who you'd ban, to be honest.
I mean, I don't think this is a slam dunk pick, but I do think maybe getting rid of Doomfist maybe is the right call in this situation. I think Doomfist could be a correct call. Like, it's not the best, but it's a viable pick.
I don't know. You just want to like very comfortably against their Doomfist. I don't see why you would ban them off of Doomfist and let them find another possibly good ban.
No. Well, it's a situation where, again, I feel like the Winston is something that was supposed to come online for their first map. That's my genuine thought process. And it's again the alternative of Doomfist in that situation, instead of going towards like a Ball or a Diva. Some players that are specializing in dive sometimes just find themselves better over on the Doomfist. But I mean, genuinely in this situation, I mean, I don't think there's a great pick in this situation. I think Doomfist would be fine. I think genuinely we have to wait, but Ashe is interesting.
It's probably just a preferential pick, to be honest. I see no reason why an Ashe is going to be even particularly good here, compared to a Sojourn. It's just they don't even want to give it the chance. Lock it into the Soj matchup and play it out. I think it's a decent way of making the matchup better for you without wasting your actual good bans or restricting what your opponents can play to the point where they'll find out something that you maybe don't want them to know. Like I was saying in the Grim Room, I cast a game over on my own Twitch channel on the weekend. I suppose it's still the weekend, but yesterday, where a team lost because they banned Juno and got punished so hard for their Juno ban that their opponents then used their own ban on Juno again the next map. Remember, normally a hero can only be banned out once, but if you do it and then your opponent does it, then it can be banned twice, which leaves you feeling like a bit of a sausage.
Yeah, not the most fun of circumstances when you go for a ban, you think it's a clever one, and unfortunately goes back and smacks you in the face. But with the picks here, very likely to not end up being that kind of situation here, as Eichenwald, beautiful, beautiful freaking map. Obvious, as always, English, first language. Lovely, lovely, lovely. But either way, getting into things right now, we do see the Winston is going to be coming out online. This was relatively what I expected from them, was kind of the Ana Break lineup, bringing that Genji as well. So, love to see it in this situation. But for Bliss Marauders, not a whole lot appears to be changing from that first map.
To be honest, I'm questioning why we're seeing the Genji rather than the Tracer here. It's playable, but it just feels like Tracer's a bit easier to play with his backline, especially. Genji is kind of better when you want to play for like faster brawl fights, but considering how often Winston just plays in like a long neutral fort, if Genji has to exist in those kind of intermediary spaces, once you burn your cooldowns, you have to back out. So you just can't stall for as long as a Tracer can. I'm not sure I'm in love with this comment. Maybe it works out. Pulse.
No, come on, do it. Come on, hit the shot. Hit the shot.
It would have been cool though. Nice try. We'll be going back over to probably like a Genji Tracer. There we go. And we know now what comps these teams are going to be playing.
Yeah, right now. Gonna see who's coming out the side early on right now. Nice sleep onto DJW right now. It's gonna result in Mikasa getting a nice pick. Mikasa very quiet in that first map, getting that first final blow to get things started. Been going to miss right there. Vash, this is not the place you want to be if you're a Genji, to be honest with you, but they're just trying to get out with their life, but they might not even be able to. This is cutting it.
I think they're good. They've got dash now, so they're probably relatively stable. Kill the Hawk is pretty poked out, and no matter what bleeds you find, that won't stop you from being obliterated. JE full there to find the final blow, but this fight still could go either way.
Yeah, Pulse is hanging around right now, but that Bergana combo, very, very difficult to deal with here, as Pulse is very much finding out firsthand right now, trying to kind of hit the 80 strafe. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough, so Tension Strikers having the start that I would have expected them to have. You're looking way more comfortable here on this comp.
Yeah, looking much better for them, at least so far. Backline isn't lasting. Is lasting, sorry, a lot longer. Yoichiro is finding much simpler value. Now you kind of just jump in and tase rather than going for all the hula or going for a Doom engage. Exactly, we see here, just farming up a Primal Rage.
Yeah, and Kill the Hog already ready to go right there. And unfortunately for JT4, not the place you want to be. Yoichiro sitting so below, but a Nano is ready. So if they wanted to take the risk, maybe try to invest in this, it is a possibility. Pulse Bomb does not come out, so it is going to get taken away right now. Hanging around, unfortunately, your support duo is gone, so Yoichiro has to make the difficult decision. Go right here for the Primal Rage. It's going to buy plenty of time, but you eventually have to come back to the point and get a touch. Unfortunately, it's not going to be on time, so instead, it's going to take the reset. Unfortunately, it's going to be an unfortunate use of the Primal Rage there.
Yeah, it's going to be an ultimate you're going to be wanting back, realistically. A very healthy time back here for Bliss Marauders. That being said, because you're playing a Queen comp, you have realistically 2 ways of playing this map now, and they're both very readable and very punishable. You have only 2 rotates you can go towards, rather than just be able to jump up the high ground. I don't know how your head is glitched into a wall there. It's a super lucky sleep there onto DJW, which means that he can't be punished. Bliss Marauders, with castle control, is incredibly useful, but if you're Shenzhen Strikers, you just walk top. They have to take top control from you eventually, so that they can stop shooting car.
Yeah, Shao gets expended early on as well, but for DJW, it doesn't really help them stay alive. Trades are still coming through, as eventually looks like Shenzhen Strikers will be able to put a stop to this push. And the important thing of stopping this push right here means they'll be able to reestablish their ground, but unfortunately, you lost the brig, so if they go fast, I don't know.
I'm assuming the respawns are going to be here in time, realistically. They can try and go fast, but they don't really have the options. Okay, they have to swap over to the D.Va, which makes it a lot easier to increase their tempo, but it's still not a dive hero, a bona fide one at least. So they try, but we see the brig is there in time. Yoichiro finds the kill.
Yeah, of course, going and trying to find something more right now. Lucio's, though, trying to hang around. Forget about maybe passing off that now in the situation to Yoichiro in the 4v4, but JT4 gonna take the trade here right now and trading DPS for DPS right now is very much the possibility to put a stop to this right here, but that cart is slowly moving along right now, so Bliss Marauders have to be happy regardless.
Yeah, that they do. They're still getting progress basically for free. Shenzhen Strikers don't seem particularly concerned with the payload about now. Been very scrappy, very back and forth. Pulse attempted, very bold there from Pulse, but won't find too much. How are you going to have to chase that far?
The bomb is up, and it is getting nothing. Yeah, they chased pretty far for that. Unfortunately, I saw the thing. There was like the prediction that was attempted there by Pulse with the Pulse bomb. Unfortunately, didn't quite find the mark right there. But Fige John, I mean, they just wants to go in there and do their thing right now. Already has a 2K. That's pretty much going to stop any momentum Bliss Marauders had going into this fight. So reset on the way and a couple of entry frags potentially.
It would be great to see those really begin to come through. As we're trying to get some exits here that aren't collected. You get the cleanse out, but that won't matter too much. This backline is something I haven't seen in a while. Something that isn't fantastic. This Kyrie Brig just doesn't really cut the mustard, in my opinion. It kind of has the weaknesses of both the Kyrie Lucio and Anna Brig without really having any of the strengths. If you're there in it for individual hero value, then sure, go ahead. But I just don't really see why Shenzhen Strikers have 4 ults. I fully expect them to use them here.
Yep. Yeah, thrown in. Catch onto nobody. Cooldown just being kind of thrown out willy-willy there by Lucios. Mike gonna want them here in about 5 seconds. Right now, Nano's ready. Gonna have the Blade ready to go, looking for bodies, but nobody wants to be around to deal with it. But unfortunately, the Deflect finds enough receipts, and now it's just coming down to a cleanup here. You want to try to find the Brig. You've gotten away with it right here, and GP gonna eventually get that Pig Whips out of there and taking a reset. So far, Shenzhen Strikers maintaining control right now, doing a really good job of just continuously burning away this clock.
Not particularly flashy, but it gets the job done, right? Shenzhen Strikers now we have whittled this time back down to just a minute, and they're still ahead in terms of that ult trade. Bliss Marauders kind of need a mechanical pick. They don't have a way back in, and we haven't seen them find that so far, unfortunately. I'd love to see something change, but with this Pulse Bomb, it doesn't seem like anything will.
Yeah. Coming up to that Pulse Bomb as well is probably going to be expended by both squads in this situation right here. See JT4 hanging around the back line, almost gets taken out, but that stun kind of stops that potentiality from happening right there, as Pulse going to be down first and foremost. Yoichiro doing good things on the Winston throughout things so far right now. Has a 2K to their name already. I'm going to come down, going to catch on to nothing but kill the Hog at the very least. will be able to remech as well, as Middleware's a bit of a rough situation right now. Will get taken out, but does get a very nice effective trade in this situation right now. Has to consider whether or not they have to use that Primal Rage with Kill the Hog hanging in there. Eventually is going to pull the trigger simply to be safe, but with also with 10 seconds left back at this point, you could be potentially trying to deny any sort of real refight here as the DPS trying to hang around.
Hang around, they'll be able to, at least for now. It seems like Shenzhen Strikers just want the fight win. That could have been blocked from VJ Gon, but unfortunately, true to his namesake, goes down. Will anything actually come from it, though? That's the question. This remake not catching 3, but it was close. And the Yo-Yo Cherry just does his best to crack him back out of the mech.
Yeah, just kind of hanging around right now. Unfortunately, while bodies are hanging around, the numbers game seems to be the more pressing factor at this point. No one even close to getting back towards the point. A nice little nano to celebrate. A really well done defense here right now, as we see one touch coming through right now. The Juno and the Tracer still activated, as Mikasa decided they wanted to take a bit of a reset at the very end there, but gonna get stopped just before the second checkpoint. I mean, that's a pretty good stopping point. If you're a defensive team, you're pretty happy with that stopping point.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, honestly. It's about par for the course. It's a very hard place to try and break, and we didn't see a particularly strong attempt from Bliss Monarchs, in my opinion, to try and break it, right? They were kind of struggling, and though it looked like their team play was very, very doable, fantastic at punishing the mistakes of Yo-Yo Cherry, when he's back on Monkey, it just doesn't seem like they can really cut the mustard. So, now Shenzhen Strikers, 160 meters through the second phase of the map to do. It's about 3 fights, 3.5. I gotta say, this is definitely a pitch that they can bat for.
Yeah, I think 100% is a possibility here.
I don't like this comp. Like,
go ahead, explain your thought process.
We're playing Kiri Brig, so we have no speed utility, so our Malga can only scale by inting a bunch of damage that we can't heal, because our backline is relatively low HPS. As I mentioned, you can't speed, so you have to, like, walk in and then like run in and then just stay in and pray. You don't even have an emote, so staying in is not that fantastic. Oh, I suppose you have cleanse, but you know, like it's just not all that. Your ults aren't fantastic because you don't have a beat, you don't have a ray. It just feels like a halfway house. It is worse than both worlds. And what it kind of gives you in terms of being able to enable the DPS, I just don't think it gives you anything else. Like 10 damage done, this won't matter for any respect at all, other than just wasting 10 seconds of our lives that you, I, or the viewer are never getting back.
Yeah, and this is going to make things, I don't know. I do think it's rather interesting. I think the Malga just have a lot of sustainability. I think that's a good factor of running this character, but the problem is finding the offensive value is kind of what you've already kind of alluded to right now. The Malga's not going to be able to stop the Winston from jumping right past him, not to be able to stop a Genji from dashing past him in that situation. If you get antied right now, you do have a Kiriko to kind of act as that cleanse and really to kind of bring that second life, because if they get hit with that unfortunate situation, it's going to be hard to bounce back if you don't have a cleanse. But either way, cleanse has already been activated right now. JT4 has been taken care of, and Kill the Hog doing a really good job already. As Yo-Yo Cheerio not in the best situation, so first fight gets shut down very quickly, as for the time being, it's working out.
Yeah, very sloppy there from Shenzhen Strikers. JT4 just gets slammed. The backline doesn't know when to reset, and so Lucio's and Mikasa, okay, that's just a stag you should never be giving over. I'm willing to write that fight off as a one-off because that was uncharacteristically poor from Shenzhen. But if it starts happening consistently, we're going to have to start asking some questions. Kill the Hog finds fantastic value on that Malga there. And even though the backline's a bit wonky, then it hasn't seemed to be a slip-up for them just yet. Surely this is something that Shenzhen Strikers are smart enough to exploit, though.
Yeah, you'll see whether that's going to be the case right now. Tracer hanging around right now. Already Pulse going to be hit with that recall right now, as JT4 potentially sees the situation. As Pulse Bomb gets thrown on, has to hit the corner, and looks like hitting the deck is going to work out in their favor. Going for the Mad Dash is going to take care of business. DJW taking care of the duo. Give me taking back in that back right. Eventually going to see the bit of a reset right here, as Kitsune Rush is going to be activated in this situation. But Pulse has already been taken care of, and Kill the Hog is going to be doubling down in this situation, throwing everything into this fight right here. It's not working out, though, in the situation. Going to be taken out, and Spec, I have to imagine that's because they're likely going to be swapping off this Malga.
I very much hope so. Malga on second point is pretty terrible anyway. Even if you're going in with a non-gank backline, that you don't have, but they appear to be staying. Brig is nice on those high grounds, I'll give you that, but Malga's really not. You have to look for slams on Carp, but if Shenzhen Strikers just rotate their backline, leave JT4, then you're not actually going to be able to realistically kill anything. I'm really not a fan of this whatsoever. Shenzhen Strikers are probably going to walk in with a Nano Blade, mop the floor with you, and then you have to retake Castle, which is just no fun, especially when you have no verticality.
Yeah, everything seems to suggest that they would be swapping off of something right here, but Cheerio at least has been taken out. JT4 is not in a situation of having a whole lot of backup, but does have an Ana and a health pack waiting for them. As things are right now, they can make like fair progress on this point because the only person that's realistically be able to like go down there and get out quickly is going to be the Tracer and then maybe the Kiriko. So eventually someone is going to have to drop to commit to the point. Oh!
Yeah, what a kill to give over. That's kind of crazy, you know? Like, if BJ Gon just gets clotheslined, and then whilst you can force cart for a while, yeah, losing Lucio's means that this fight is just, it's cooked instantly. The time bank wasn't gargantuan from Shenzhen Strikers, it was large, so they can't afford to keep on hemorrhaging these kills, but that's what they're going to keep on doing. It's Mikasa, BJ Gon, all just extra bleeds onto the body of Shenzhen Strikers. I mean, look, they've got 5 volts, or 4, and they'll be able to get this OC in decent time, right? But the same could be said of Bliss Marauders, and you don't really have a great answer to the cage. I mean, the break ult is nice, gives you some extra HP, but considering you can't bash in cage, it's not all that. OC doesn't have the range it needs. That pulse bomb is bowls, so it won't achieve too much pulse. It's kind of just blown all his cooldowns in the backline for nothing. Surely he's punished for this.
Surely,
thank you.
Will eventually do so. Gets literally blown over that situation, but point is going forward. Only about 22 meters left to go right now. Gonna go with the cage fight, and Yo Cheerio, there's no real way to get out of this alive. I'm sorry, but you got solo ulted. That is just the name of the game right there. But with still double support ultimates ready to go, Nano Blade is possible, and they want to try to end this right here and now. It is a very bold choice, but gonna see if it's going to favor them in this situation. JT4 has gotten rid of 2. Gonna see the go back right now, but JT4 has got the 3K, and now it is just Kill the Hog and Pulse hanging around in this situation. Plenty of time to still get some bodies back and reset. But unfortunately for Kill the Hog, they need to try to maybe try to back out of here. They're running for their life. Going to the Mega Health Pack. Here is going to go in with that cleanse, but now it is desperation territory.
You get the soft jump in, bubble, Kitsu all out. This is an advantage and technically in favor of Marauders, but that nade might make it not so.
Yeah, and it's getting close right now. JT4 is still hanging around right now, going to get stunned. Out goes Pulse, has gotten a 3K. Great job cleaning things around. Unfortunately, JT4 not there to clutch up like that last fight, so have to expend pretty much everything on both sides.
Lucio. This one went to reset, man. This is just brutal. There's no way you survive here. It's just extra time off the bank. Your entire team has respawned at this point. Learning when to reset it's a good skill to have, and one that unfortunately Shenzhen Strikers backline up here yet to have developed. Pulse is going to go for the triple blink stick. I try it every time. It never works, but...
Yeah, but it works this time, apparently. That means you are... Pulse is just built different. I think that's just what it is at this point. So, unfortunately, you have to wait in the reset, and with it being 4 to 5 seconds, and the amount of time you're going to have to take to build up what you're hoping to build up, this is realistically the last fight.
Oh, absolutely. You'll have Nano for it. You're going with Nano into cage, so if you can find an engagement to notch the Malga, that would be pristine, even better. If you can get Kill the Hog onto cart, because then he really can't deal with whatever you're going towards. A run in on a cage would make your life pretty upsetting, realistically. Lucius takes some spam damage, but it won't matter too much in the end. You have your Monkey Force cart, we jump away, and the best time for Nano is about now.
Yep, but Milliverse gets taken out right now, but you lost the Nano, and now there's nothing to keep you alive. You're gonna be thrown in here, and you are mincemeat. You are cooked, sir. And now you need to focus on getting a body over here in time to be able to make it to happen. And it's likely got to be JT4 right now. They're eventually gonna make their way back to the point. It's slowly sliding forward right now. He's just trying to find something right now. Doesn't have a whole lot of bodies sitting around. Deflect is online, though, unfortunately. Body's trying to come back, going for the punch right there. Gonna try to see if he can get back with the Nano right now. You might have to throw it onto your break, and it's going to come through, but touches need to happen. Unfortunately, they don't exist, so they'll stop just before the finish line right here. And unfortunately, Lucius getting taken out. I mean, it killed almost any chance you had of winning that fight, unfortunately.
Yeah, and honestly, if I had to assign, you know, a moment or blame, then I would probably say Lucio's like stagger on themselves, right?
Yeah.
That was the biggest mistake by far. They don't do that. They've got enough time for another fight, probably, like a proper one at least. They can scale a bit more carefully. But instead, we kind of get shamoned out of a map. The Shenzhen Strikers very realistically could have won, now down 0-2 in this series. The previous CGL champions seem to be getting off on the wrong foot pretty consistently, unfortunately, this early in the season. I believe we're going to go to a short break, if I'm not much mistaken, but when we're back, the continuation of this series. Will Bliss Marauders Tier 5 close it out in 3, or will Shenzhen Strikers begin the comeback?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back from our break here, and so far, been a very competitive one as things have started moving further and further along in the series. It's really come down to a couple of fights on these first two maps, but so far, Bliss Marauders Tier 5 happen to be the ones to be coming away with those big victories, and so far find themselves on match point up 2-0 in the series. Spectron and Shenzhen Strikers, I mean, we saw them get that nice hold on their defense back on Eichelwald. Unfortunately, when it came down to the big fights where they absolutely need to win, they're just unfortunately falling a bit short.
I would probably put it in a bit more harsh terms. I'd probably say that Shenzhen Strikers showed a definite ability to close out the map, and then they threw it. It's a bit peak. A couple big mistakes, kind of shooting their ability to convert in the foot. Now they've got to get a reverse sweep started, and the map they're going to have to get that sweep started on is Esperanza. As you can see in our nice little animated portrait there. So, good news, you can play Winston here, and it's good. They kind of need to go for a support ban, though, in my opinion, because if they don't, then Ana's going to get banned, and they're going to be very, very sad. So, if I were them, I would instantly be banning probably like Juno, is what I would look towards. Juno or Kiri. If you, I think, go for a DPS ban, you're gonna get punished. Go for a tank ban, I mean, you're gonna get punished again, because what are they gonna do? Ban your Winston that you play everywhere and is really good on each brand? So just get a support ban done, man.
Yeah. Like it feels already clear what you're at least gonna try to run here if you're a Ascension Striker. So the best thing you can do is just give yourself a better ability to run it, and at least put it like pretty much take out a support that you feel like you don't want to function with that. As you kind of alluded to, we've already been seeing function very well for Bliss. So, yeah, between that Juno, between that Kiri, I think both are fine. Getting rid of the Kiri does negate the ability to kind of stop the Onates from having that extra value as well, which we kind of saw before that kind of value was coming out a little bit more for Ascension Striker, at least when it came to that first map. But unfortunately, they're going to go for the Queen ban. They don't even want to mess around with the Queen, and I feel like I might have saved that for Saravasa if we got there.
I think that's a huge mistake, because I think that leaves the backline open. We'll see what their opponents want to end up bringing in, but BMT, surely, we'll just see this as an open door to just Thanos snap Ana. You know, like, Yoichiro can play with Kiri Lucio, but it's a significantly lower sustained backline that forces you to play very low uptime, so your DPS have resources to play. And I think that's just not going to work out fantastically well for the Shenzhen Strikers. See if that is indeed the ban that comes through. If anything else wants to get sort of creative with it, you could always go for like a DPS ban. Soj, Tracer, Cass would be valid enough. A break ban as well would probably achieve about the same effect, but like I said, I'd be surprised if you didn't just see an Ana ban come through.
Yeah, at this point, you might as well. And then it's going to just come down to a Break Juno scenario, which, again, I feel like I would favor Bliss Marauders a little bit more in that situation. So, let's see, because we thought we saw the obvious pick from over on the other side of things. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case, so gonna see if we're gonna have that same result here. So just waiting for that result to come through. Bliss Marauders taking the time to really think about this, make sure that they really want to zone in on this pick, because it's, at the very least, even if you're so certain, it is worth double-checking, looking over all possibilities. You never want to look something over, but it will indeed be the Ana.
I mean, I was planning on doing a whole bit about how surprised I was that it's Ana, but I don't even have the energy in me. Yeah, obviously that was a pretty standard choice. You no longer have Nade Wincons, which would have been a really nice solution into the Queen, especially now you have high grounds. I could go on for oodles and oodles about why I think this ban is pretty suboptimal, but at the end of the day, this is the bed that Shenzhen Strikers have made, and now they've got to lie in it. You know, maybe it's a bit more comfortable than, you know, myself and you, Hunter, kind of expect, because there's always some room for variation. We've been kind of speaking about them as if the Winston is a guarantee, but there's always a chance they move towards, for example, a Wrecking Ball, where it's less of a weakness to actually have that Ana, or not have that Ana, rather. I would be surprised if they did, to be honest, but it's still a shout that we could be seeing. For Shenzhen Strikers, for their own good, I suppose. I hope they're cooking. Because this could be the end of their match today. Comps beginning to be locked in, or will be in just a second, and each bronzer opens up in front of us.
Yeah, you can see what the case is going to be, at least from the side of Shenzhen Strikers. It should seem pretty apparent what they're going to run here. Without the presence of the Queen in the situation, you would think, oh, does that change up? I think the answer is no. I don't think it really does change things up. Could you run the queen here? Yeah, you could. Is it the best answer? I don't think so. I think you're going to benefit way more from something like a Winston, like a Diva in this kind of situation. So, let's see what the case is going to be here as that is just a fish. You're a fish. Full fish. Is that what they do here? Not in the UK. You know, maybe in Portugal. In the games I was playing earlier, all the observers would do was show me photos of food. They knew I was really hungry. It was really cruel. Bullcom, finally! Somebody played something interesting. Thank God. Bliss Marauders are playing anti-Bullcom. I can't lie. This will be really, really cringe to play into for Shenzhen Strikers. Because Kill the Hog can kind of just fly at things, and you can't really stop him from doing that. If Lucius hits every orb, then this is going to be crazy fun for Shenzhen Strikers. If it doesn't, it's probably going to be kind of hard for anyone in Shenzhen Strikers other than JT4 to find value. JT4 can kind of just force background. They can't really stop him from doing that. Yeah, but we're not going to be hanging around here. Bit of a hit or a miss style right here. It's technically doable on Esperanza, but it's going to see whether or not it's going to find its value. If you go out the gate here and find Mikasa, like, right out the rip in the situation, it could be wonderful. But already got protection waiting for you right now if you're DJW. See, one lucky hit, or one fortunate hit, I guess I should say, to be able to kind of get this one moving. But for the time being right now, Mikasa just helping try to take down some arms, and for the time being, with JT4 following up, it's working out well. I didn't expect Bliss Marauders to both allow, like, essentially a 3-person dive onto their backline, whilst also not having their Diva scale to prevent it, right? You got Defense Matrix on them, then it's kind of fine. If the Diva pokes up the dive before it comes through, then it's also fine. If neither happens, then you get kind of microwave. That's exactly what we see there. First fight just being kind of steamrolled over, and an instant D-Mech once to Kill the Hog is going to mean that it's only going to continue. Yeah, right now, I'm just kind of just hanging around, getting that thing rolling. 33 meters in, counter right now. Kill the Hog, you can't really do a whole lot here until you get that remake as well. You're going to have a couple touches from Pulse right now, but unfortunately, already going to expend the recall. You're on the low ground still, going to power drive down right now. Doing a really good job kind of stalling out the point, giving time for Kill the Hog to remake while you're kind of playing for this checkpoint fight. And they're just going to go back to the high ground, look for more power drives. But for the time being, at the very least, Bliss Marauders playing this smart with that stall and hoping to collapse him here shortly. Heavily poked out is Yo-Yo Cherry, PJ Gone as well. They're both going to have to back and do their best to play their life. Orb of Harmony is going to do what it can for PJ Gone, which, considering the micro missiles, isn't too much. Normally it means Lucius isn't much long for this world either, but so far the Zen is under relatively little scrutiny, all things considered. Kind of like Tony Blair after many, many things, actually. JE4 trades out for Pulse. That Pig Whip's removed as well. This surely is going to be a BMT5 stabilization. And looks like it's going to be so. Yeah, and right now, unfortunately, not the place you want to be right now if you're Lucios. You find a nice little pick earlier. Unfortunately, not only lose your your Zenyatta, you're going to lose your break as well. Churio, at the very least, got out alive, so I guess you could call that a silver lining. They're still back there, aren't they? They are. Bliss Marauders T5 do have 5 ultimates, which makes it tricky. Shenzhen Strikers have 3, which is still nice. Minefield on the car is going to make any more push kind of impossible, especially as DJW and Milo just get airstruck. That is an unfortunate way to go. There's nothing you can do in that situation right there, so that's going to be essentially an insta-win as you're going to push it back the other way here as the Marauders again got to set up for a fight. But with 4 ultimates, they have a pretty good ease to put the stop to this before it gets to the checkpoint. That is kind of just insane. Realistically, not something you see every day. If you're Bliss Marauders, then you didn't even have a chance to play the video game there. You didn't have a chance to use any of your ults, and the Pulse missing has about the same effect. Yeah, Lucios is going to die before that comes up online. JT4 wants to see if they can come alive right here. Beat has been used. Try to expend it through right now, hitting away, slashing away. Unfortunately, doesn't really find the target, unfortunately. So for Bliss Marauders, fight online for them, and you're going to try to escape right now if you're Mikasa. Most likely that'll be the case, but for Yo-Yo Cheerio, not quite the same. But there is time to set up a retouch here, especially with that Transcendent still online. You gotta be kicking yourself for your JT4 there. You had a real chance to trade out with the Kiriko, take care of both supports, but unfortunately you just kind of fumbled the bag a little bit. That could have been a kill, but as it stands, Shenzhen Strikers will be able to recontest at least before the lead goes over. Whether they will or not, though, is a different question. Recall's force are both traces, as they seem to just spin themselves in circles, but
Okay, we'll see if this corner spot... Okay, it has no effect. This duel is so nonsensical.
Yeah, and you're taking away your Kiriko from that fight as well. Eventually going to get them back in right now. As they're about 2.5 meters away from potentially getting that lead right now. As the ball is going to be coming back. Lucios is going to die again before expending the ultimate right now. Pulse Bomb going to be thrown into not the ideal place, I would say, in that situation right now. CGW going to clean things around. And with the rally being expanded, we should start seeing things fall apart right here. Yochirio still hanging around, but unfortunately, it's not going to stop this point from getting captured and taking back the lead. And now the question is, can you even stop the checkpoint from happening?
No, you can't, is the pretty resounding answer by the looks of things. There's...
Oh.
Okay. There's a touch, and there's mines on the cart as well, so they decide to go for the steal. This is a very bold reconcess, considering they're still waiting for their respawns to come through. They have no scaling, and they have no meat caster as well.
Yeah, I don't hate the boldness of it, but it's the fact that you just didn't have that extra body that was going to be able to really help you out and kind of follow up in this situation right now, because you have the Hog who was low for a moment there. Unfortunately, there's no follow-up to speak of. So now it might be a point of someone trying to just steal this point further and just try to get it somewhere. I think Yochirio is thinking in that regard, see if maybe they can get some distance on it right now, but unfortunately, they're not long for the world.
No, it doesn't seem like it. Yochirio just gets flown down and obliterated. That's how the matchup with the D.Va versus the ball from goes. We trans that? Yeah, you get the D-Mech, but that's going to get nuke reset. You need to kill the Hog before you remax, and you just don't.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it feels like there was better opportunities earlier on for Lucios to use that ultimate. Unfortunately, by the time they did, I feel like it was maybe one of the least significant times to actually use it and come away with it. I mean, to be fair, this is awesome stall if there were a lot more meterage, but unfortunately, you don't have the lead. You are eventually going to give over the checkpoint. You burnt through ults to do it, and now, I mean, Bliss Marauders could start rolling through on this.
Kind of expect them to do so as well, right? I mean, it's such a good start for Shenzhen Strikers, but unfortunately, no ability to keep up consistently as again. It's reared its ugly head. It's the exact same issue we saw on Eichenwald. Also, does need to be stabled, and Breeze's recall way too long. Is he asleep at the wheel, I guess? Bliss Marauders down one, but they can still fight this if they wish. They probably see the wisdom in fighting another day, though.
Oh, using Blade here, not a necessity right now, but you might as well use JT4. To try to just style on him a little bit, have some fun. It's going to result in everybody eventually biting the dust. I imagine you get the Kiriko more than likely. Need to hit the shots. JT4 will eventually do so. So Shenzhen Striker is going to be able to take a reset on those spawns. Does the D.Va and the Kiriko get the good spawns? They will indeed not get them.
Not a Blade I personally would have invested very likely, but it gets the job done. Right, they get some exit kills. So there can't be a recontest of Bliss Marauders for a minute anyway. They'll be able to get their own distance on the wall forward spawn. Seems a likelihood, but one that Bliss Marauders won't let them take.
Yep. Yochirio kind of hanging around looking for a power drive. Unfortunately, little telegraph, unfortunately, right now. Gonna have to use the shields. Go for the mega health pack right now. Eventually gonna get that Orb of Harmony, but this fight could be entering must-win territory here very surely right now if you're not very careful. As you can see, the Kasuni Rush going to be activated. Mines are potentiality, and unfortunately do not get activated in that situation right now. Kill the Hog, super low, getting what might be their third or fourth self-destruct, by the way, of this round alone right now. As CJW trying to go in right now, gonna clean things up right now. Again, not a big necessity in this situation, but you want to clean things out, you want to make it happen. But JT4 and Lucios think they can win this thing, but honestly, they're still super low right now. Unfortunately, this might be another misuse right here as they're going to get back, but unfortunately, it's not winnable anymore.
I'm not sure about that one. You could have just let your opponents blow 3 ults and let it be that, but unfortunately, Shenzhen Strikers has to torch one of their own for some reason. It's still not a terrible spot to be in, comparatively speaking, but it could just be so much better is the aggravating thing to me. Mines has been deadly before, probably will be at least effective in denying the cart momentarily again, but that's...
Oh, that's dirty right there. That's not the way you want to go on a fight. Mines have been used right there. It's going to do all of nothing, essentially. It stops momentum for the next few seconds, but JT4 does manage to find one, so no beat in the fight, so now you have an actual case to win this fight. Got a nice little reset in here, get everybody hanging around. Also eventually going to get forced out as well as the high ground finally can be a little bit some pressure. Unfortunately, gets essentially knocked away by their own accord. And now, Spec, as DDW goes down, very winnable fight, but you have to get this car rolling, and you can't make any mistakes or you can't run out. You just cannot.
You're running out of time to do so, most definitely, with 1 minute and a quarter, but Kill the Hog was to keep the pressure high. Just engaging on with recall force. Bliss Marauders in a very weird spot.
Yeah, and that got stalled for a while. Still haven't actually flipped the point to the other side quite yet right now, so Picasso going down here. It's interesting precedence right now as they trade back out. Miller's going to go ahead and hit the beat as Lucius, third one of the match so far right now. Going to see if they can find some kind of value. Bodies are low right now, but they have to try to close out right now because unfortunately, there's no like super hard commitment with the ult either, so while people get low, nobody actually ends up going down. So 30 seconds left. It is complete desperation now for Shenzhen Strikers.
And the desperation is only going to worsen as Lucios goes down. BJ gone as well. And 30 seconds left to go. They'll have a chance to touch at least. But by no means will it be particularly comfortable. They'll have to win 2-3 consecutive fights, I believe, to get control of the robot. And while they're also pretty good for it, Rally, Mines, Blade, their opponents isn't bad either with a Kitsu that can just run down main, the bomb to zone all that space. Remember, a C9, even for a millisecond, will spell the end of this map.
Yeah, and it could be as simple as saying the Kitsune rush here and just trying to run it down. There's no super big defensive thing right now to work with right now. Mine's going to be activated. In the moment Mine's activated, everyone said it, get away from the fight, take your reset. But Pulse does get taken down, so get a little bit of chip in the armor right there, but there's still so much that has to be done because this fight is not over. I can see Bliss Marauders having this beat and feeling willing to let it go right now, and they are, and it keeps Kill the Hog up in that situation. Blade has been activated, but Kill the Hog has already gotten rid of 2 right now. It's down to JT4 right now, has managed to get rid of 1. Trying to clean up the house right now as Bomb is online. Gonna eventually get pushed back as the D.Va is going to be able to hit the remake. Needs to try to see if they can get out alive here. But with that on them, looks like the reset is just gonna have to try to come through here as Lucius dies and Kill the Hog gets out scot-free for now.
I was going to say it's a great spot, honestly, for Shenzhen Strikers who would have an uncontested transcendence at least until DJW came back, but the same could not really be said. BJ Gon's coming on the Lucio. It does allow a taxi should it be possible, but they can't really spare the manpower right now. Every single moment could be the last for Shenzhen Strikers.
And unfortunately, you got to hang around. Unfortunately, the ability to hang around has eluded them in this situation. One more power drive to side, see if you can make something happen, but Full Spawn will seal the deal. 3-0 to the way of Bliss Marauders, staying without a map loss in their first 2 matches here this season. And unfortunately for Shenzhen Strikers, another loss. And unfortunately, this is not the start of the season you're really hoping for. Because again, we talked about it. They have good moments, but unfortunately, it feels like their decision-making, unfortunately, might be lacking in some places.
It's just like fundamentals. It's kind of the irritating thing. So the issue with that is that it's very, very punishable for anyone with eyes to see. The upside, though, the practical upside, is that these are very easy mistakes to fix, simply. It doesn't require 1,000 hours of ranks. It doesn't require, you know, fundamentally reevaluating how you approach the game. There's a couple quick gameplay tweaks, and I genuinely think Shenzhen Strikers could be a team who competes really, really closely with Bliss Marauders, who is able to go close against any real team in the Grand Master Division. But not being there yet is a huge issue, and one we're seeing play out across our screens.
Yeah, it's one of those situations because, like, okay, at least when we're talking about certain points within, like, Oasis and Esperanza, but especially Eichenwald, they had a big chance in a lot of these. In fact, I think we would probably agree that, like, there was a point where Shenzhen Strikers were very much favored to go ahead and win Eichenwald. They gave themselves such a good ability to win those last 2 fights they needed to. Unfortunately, it just doesn't happen at all. And obviously the bands coming through here, the unfortunate Junker Queen pick that we still think maybe just wasn't the correct thing in that situation. So it's something that you have to learn from here because obviously with a lot of matches still to go, it's not nearly a season-breaking kind of situation, but you have to start bouncing back eventually.
Indeed. Of course, as you mentioned, there's going to be maybe some bigger issues coming from them down the pipeline. So hopefully the next... 4 days? I forget the patch, Tuesday or Thursday?
Tuesday, I'm pretty sure. So
Tuesday.
We're like,
oh, well, they have even less
so
time to fix this. So hopefully their Monday scrims are super, super productive. Because after that, they're going to have a lot. I can't even think of a word big enough. A ginormous amount of stuff to go through. Every other team is going to be scrambling to a TC, and I'm sure so will you and I. That's going to be all of it for us for a list of it. I believe we're going to go to a short break. When we're back, an interview with one of the winning team.
Carpe diem. Carpe diem.
Welcome back from the break once more, ladies and gentlemen, here with the 3-0 victory. Bliss coming in strong here in their second showing here of the season. To join us for a nice little interview, Kill the Hog tank over on the side of Bliss Marauders. And first and foremost, congratulations on a big win and a very strong win at that.
Thank you.
Yeah, we were kind of talking about going into things right here. Shenzhen Strikers, a team that was the winner of the Masters Division last season, came into the GM tier, hoping to do something strong here. Just for you, whether you knew about what this team had previously accomplished or not, what was just kind of the expectation going into today's game, or more so like the preparation of it all?
I'll be honest, we haven't really prepared too much, as in like playing against many PC teams recently, because they're a PC team. I had a lot more respect than I would of a console team that's just won the Tier 4 division. Because we're used to console teams, we know how they play, so it's quite different having to play against the PC teams. The way they play, it's a lot quicker, and you have to adapt more. But I feel like we were able to respect them enough to work around that today and play our game.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, for me, I want to first ask, what do you think some of those specific gameplay things were? So, speaking about map 1, obviously we see the Doomfist roll out after you guys banned the Winston. How did you find playing into the Doomfist? Because, you know, from our eyes, it seemed like you countered out pretty easily.
Didn't really feel the Doomfist was making the issues for us. We felt as if it was their DPS. They were constantly like applying pressure to our backline, and then it caused a lack of communication between myself and my support. So I didn't know if they were capable of helping me. I didn't know if I could like walk up without fear of them dying. So I feel like the Doomfist was decent value against like us, but at the exact same time, I feel like the issues arose from their DPS and supports more.
And then my second question would be, so I was personally very critical of their ban coming through into map number 3 each per answer. I thought they should have went for a support protect ban so that you guys couldn't ban Ana. What do you think about that, considering that you did ban Ana and then went through just to maybe not like defeat them like very dominantly, but you got a pretty clean win over them?
The plan for map 3 was we expected the Winston, same as on the Icon Ward, because they were quite successful on the defense. But we wanted to ban the Ana had they banned a tank to protect the Winston, but at the exact same time, if they banned the support to protect the Ana, the Winston would have been what we were going to ban. I'm not quite sure what they were thinking with the JQ ban, and I'm quite fond of her, but on that map it can be quite difficult. I feel like they could have maybe banned something a bit better for them.
No, it makes complete sense at the end of the day. But obviously, halfway through this first part of the season right now, 2 more matches, and then we'll find out who's been going on to that mid-season tournament. And at that point, is there any team that perhaps you're looking to go against, maybe for the first time, or potentially maybe even a rematch for these first couple of weeks?
The main team we're looking out for is the EMC team. I can't quite remember what one they are. I think Canidos or something, but they're the team we're mainly looking out for. I've been watching the streams. I've been seeing how they've been playing, and they look like quite a solid team. And I'm looking forward to playing them.
Okay, no, makes complete sense. It was nice to watch them last week, and nice to watch all this week as well. But of course, we want to let you have the opportunity to go and celebrate with your team, and be able to kind of talk about the big dub. But before we let you go, if there's anything you want to say personally, if there's anybody you want to thank, I mean, the floor is open for you to do so.
Nothing much really, apart from thank you, Jake, for not throwing my game today. He knows who he is.
All right, absolutely love to see it. So once more, congratulations on the big win, and best of luck with the rest of your season.
Thank you.
All right, take care now.
Bye.
Oh, there you go, Spec. There have it. There you are. Always even English again. English is just not favoring me today, but even interviews are always very interesting to me because they're either the most ridiculous stuff I've ever heard of, or it's very simple. I don't think I've had much of an in between.
Listen, the EU is a very big place with a lot of different culture, right? So there's going to be a huge variety always. I think with English UK people, there's like it's very polar. You either get like very normal people, or just like, for lack of a better phrase, just like nutcases, right? And then throughout the rest of the European Union, it ends up being more like polar. Germany, I expected a German interview to be quite chill. I interview like an Italian, it might be a little bit more high energy, So it is just about how much cultural diversity I think we've got here. And this time we've got a pretty chilled out, relaxed one.
Yeah. Love to see it after a 3-0 like that, such as to be the case. But hopefully we don't get the double 3-0 today, because of course we still have our NA match later today, Spectron. Got that matchup going on between Emerald Eagles and Lunar Eclipse. Gonna see what that's going to bring us. We saw that kind of that showing from Lunar Eclipse last week as well. Seem to have something working there. Gonna see if that can kind of move forward into this week right here. So yeah, I mean, that's going to round out the action for this week as well, that matchup, as we'll kind of go into that week 3, where again, perks are going to get introduced, and I mean, everyone's going, unless there's sociopaths that have booked their game for Monday night, everyone's going to have to experience that for the first time, very much in a game, and hoping they can give themselves an opportunity to, for that point, to really learn what's strong, what isn't, and are these perks going to start determining what we pick and don't pick.
I am going to have the time of my life watching scrims, I'm telling you now. There's going to be some fantastic things to happen. I'm going to have like a solid week of just seeing the zaniest strats known to man, but I think that's been everything from me today. Yeah. As you mentioned, there's the NA game coming later, but I think unless you've got anything else for us, Hunter, then that's going to be the end of our broadcast today. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you so much to our production team that was today, unfeatured, Hippie, and I think I saw Rhino there as well. He was lurking.
Yeah, Rhino was doing things. Rhino was doing things too.
And that means everyone behind the camera here at the CGL. Then choose.
You